Now we're going to focus on learning target 1B, which is solving equations. I want to go ahead and get x by itself. So in order to do that, I'm going to draw my line down the middle so I know which two sides I'm looking at. I look over here and I realize I have parentheses with a number out in front, and that is going to be the distributive property, which is multiplying. So I take 3 and times it by x, which gives me 3x. I then do 3 times it by a positive 2, which gives me a positive 6. I then drop down my equals 18. Then what I need to do is work away from my x and get rid of my plus 6. In order to do that, I do the opposite, which is minus 6. I also then subtract 6 to this side. What's going to happen to my 6's is they're going to cancel out, and I'm left with 3x equals. Now 18 take away 6, which gives me 12. My final step is to divide by 3 to both sides. My 3's are going to cancel, and I'm left with x equals 12 divided by 3, which is 4. Now going to look at a new problem that adds just one more step to it. So again, I first start with my distributive property. So I do 9 times x, which gives me 9x. I then do 9 times negative 2, which gives me negative 18. I'm going to drop down my minus 9 and my equals 99. Now there's two ways that you can solve this. We could go ahead and combine these two like terms, or we could always just keep simplifying. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep simplifying. I'm going to ignore this 9x minus 18 and get rid of the minus 9 by adding 9 to both sides. My 9's cancel, and I'm left with 9x minus 18 equals 108. Now what I need to do is add 18 to both sides. My 18's are going to cancel, and I'm left with 9x equals 126. My final step is to divide by 9 by both sides. Then I do 126 divided by 9. And I get what my x value is. So go ahead and figure that out. Let's look at two more examples. Here I have x's on both sides. And in order to do this, I'm going to multiply my 10 by my 2 and get 20x. I then take 10 times 5 and get a 50. I drop down what I have on my right side, which is 20x plus 60. Now I recognize I have those x's on two different sides. I always like to bring my right x over to my left x. So in order to do that, I do the opposite, which is minus 20x. My 20x's cancel, and I'm left with 50 equals 60. I ask myself, does 50 equal 60? And I say no. So I know that that is a no solution answer. Let's look at one more problem. All right, go ahead and start this one, and I'll get you caught up. Our first step needs to be 4 times x. 4 times x is 4x. I then do 4 times 3, which is 12. I drop down what I have left on my right side. I now recognize that I have 4 x's on both sides, so I do the opposite. I'm left with 12 equals 12. I ask myself, does 12 equal 12? And I say yes, so I know that that is infinite solutions. Right now, you have just finished learning target 1B. If we come back up to this problem here, you should have got that 126 divided by 9 equals 14.